Okay, I got a real treat for you guys today. Today I did a podcast with Leah Rosenberg. Leah Rosenberg is not someone I knew personally and didn't even know her professionally. What happened is that Leah Rosenberg owns Uptown Pharmacy right next to Evergreen in Muncie, in Pomona. And she had done such wonderful work with our guys in our village that my clinical director kept telling me, this woman is mamish a gem, so special. Like she really cares. And I met her in Evergreen, which is right next to that store. And I introduced myself to her and told her how much we appreciate the work she's doing for all the guys. And she was just a wealth of knowledge and interesting. And I said, you got to come on the podcast and just talk about pharmacy stuff, medication stuff. So we just talked. We talked about weight loss. We talked about Ozempic. We talked about psychotropic medication and the health situation with us nowadays. Such an incredibly fascinating conversation. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Very different than what my usual podcasts are, but it was wonderful. And I love how so many of these podcasts are becoming just different. Each one is just so unique. Anyway, like and follow, subscribe, everything that you can to help out. Make lots of comments. Maybe get into a fight in the comment section. That's always fun. No, I'm just kidding. Don't fight with each other. Hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Brainstorm podcast. And now, your host, Sonny Perlman.
We're live.
I'm ready.
All right. So just an intro. There's going to be an intro before, but this is the first time I've done this on the pod. So just for you listeners, you're going to hear this is the first time that I heard amazing things about you from my clinical director in our village. And I met you in
Grocery.
Evergreen. Which is where you meet everybody. I call it the town square. It's the greatest place ever.
I tried to avoid it for that reason.
No. I go there and I spend an extra hour shopping because I just talk to everybody.
You're a celebrity there when you go in. I go in, I'm the drug dealer in Evergreen.
Right. I'm a celebrity. And I met you, and you probably had 5 opinions, like, and interesting ideas, like, within 30 seconds. I was like, come on my pod. And then it happened.
Yeah.
So Leah Askarinam / Rosenberg.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the names.
Yeah.
Askarinam because of your license name.
Yeah. That's who I was when I became a pharmacist.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm shocked that I actually did this. So.
All right.
I'm impressed.
Okay. Should we get it? Okay. I want to introduce you. But listen, I never thought I'd have a pharmacist on.
Okay.
And I've gotten a bazillion questions about medication and dealing with people with medication, and mainly psychotropic medication, meaning dealing with just any type of psych stuff. That's not for you. You understand?
I don't take them. I don't take them. I give them out.
Okay, you give them out. So that is, it's a big discussion.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of like specific questions I want to ask you, and then we can talk about all different things. But I have a specific question. One of the things that I've talked to so many psychiatrists, and one of the goals of the psychiatrists is we're going to put them on this medication, but the goal is to start lowering the dosages and eventually getting people off. My question from you, because to me, I just have my people. You are seeing everybody.
Yes.
So my question to you is, what are you seeing in that area? Are people using it for a short period of time? Are they going up in the doses? Is it everything?
So it really depends on the provider. And it's very problematic because there are some providers who are major pill pushers who are pushed back behind the pharmaceutical companies and they're spokespeople for them, or they...
When you say provider, that's the doctor?
Doctors.
That's the doctors, okay.
So they come in and they're very knowledgeable on them and they really know their stuff, but they will come in and they will say, okay, let's start band-aiding you. We put on one drug on top, now you get another side effect, and you get another drug, and then you get another drug, and you get another drug. And not necessarily, oh, it's not working, let's up the dose. Instead of trying some new different things, they will just keep going. On the other hand, you will have the total other extreme where you'll go to, there's one provider that I send a lot of people to. They specifically will not want to know about your history. Take off all your medication and start with one thing. Let's see how you're doing in a week. Okay, we'll add something else if need be. And their goal is to keep you on the most minimum effective dose, which is the right way to practice. Because these drugs are created for a reason for people who really need them. I had a lot of customers, patients. I worked in the psych ward. I'm in the retail pharmacy that they have come in, and without their medications, they would be non-functioning.
What do you do in the psych ward? Hold on.
So.
Yeah, let's hear. What do you do in the psych ward?
So I was the medical director in a pediatric.
That was my OCD that you have to.
Look on that camera.
I have by accident pressed the wrong button before and had entire pods not recorded.
But it's recording this time.
It's recording, yeah. I just did I do that? What'd you do in psych ward?
So in the psych ward, I was more of a clinical director. So what we would do is that we would go into...
Wait, what's your degree?
So I'm a pharmacist. I'm a PharmD. So I got my doctorate in pharmacology. Okay. So I'm a pharmacist. Doctor of Pharmacy is what my actual degree stands for. So instead of just being like the old time...
You're Dr. Leah Rosenberg.
Yes, actually.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
You deserve the accolades.
Nah, it's like we're pharmacists, but we're cool pharmacists. So how it is back in the day you were RPH. So you just learned about like the little science behind it, about what the medications basically do, and you give it out. Here, today's day and age, we're more clinical. So if you would come to me, give me a diagnosis, I could tell you exactly which medications would be to treat that diagnosis and how to get the best outcome. So we learn more about how pharmacology works, the right dosing, what the pros and cons, the cause and effects, what happens with everything and how it works in your actual body. So when I like to explain to customers or people that come in to the pharmacy, oh, you have a cold, take this, take your antihistamine because that's going to dry you out. Take this because it's not necessarily you need that cold medicine. You will find there's different ways of approaching what you're suffering with and how to heal it and take care of the problem short term and not be on meds on the long-term basis.
Okay.
So
the goal is stay on as low as you can.
The lowest effective dose.
Okay, but what are you actually seeing?
High doses and thousands, like polypharmacy. Like when I was in the hospital, my main job was hit the patients who have 19 drugs or more and get them down to under 10. Now you move on to 17 and 16 and this. And when I worked, besides for working in the pediatric hospital, I was an assistant director in Rockland Psych, mostly adults. There's no pediatrics over there.
Right.
And we would have patients that are there for 17 years, 18 years, 19. They never came out. They're in the psych ward. In the psych.
You could stay for 17 years?
Well, if you're in a state facility, yes, because government money is paying for it. It's not insurance based anymore. At that point, there was a lot of like undocumented people who, homeless people that they picked up, undocumented people that they just don't know where they were from. They came to America. They had some sort of psychiatric episode. The police picked them up.
So what was the goal of
the goal of those people were to get them stable. Like there were people who were like, when people are hurting themselves, cutting themselves, abusing themselves, literally hallucinating and they're not functioning. It kills them. It really, so these meds do play an important effect for them. It's if you just tell them, okay, you're seeing things and you're behaving this way and you're cutting yourself, let's just give you some vitamins and call it a day. It's not the right thing for the patient because not necessarily will just that help them. I feel like there's a huge balance that you need to have with the pharmaceutical drugs, as well as addressing all your vitamin deficiencies as well. So if you take a good balance of both, you could really make a difference. In the psychiatric ward, the first thing a patient comes in, we gave them omega, vitamin D. Because if you're not having proper omega, you're not promoting proper brain function. If you don't have proper vitamin D.
What is omega?
Fish oil.
Okay.
We would give fish oil to every single kid who would walk in. We check their vitamin D levels and make sure that they're up to par. Because if you're sitting...
So why am I not doing that at our village? Sorry.
They should be.
You're a pharmacist.
Why not? I would say... You
have to recommend this to
Yeah,
me.
so I'm saying... Okay, we're going to come bring them into Uptown. We got them covered. But
covered. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of these patients, like if they come and take proper...
Do they have them in gummies?
Yes, they do.
Okay, good.
That are not so fishy.
I only take it if it's... Oh, they are fishy?
So some of them are fishy. We're going to find you a non-fishy gummy. They're just extra sweet.
I'm not taking any vitamins unless it's cute.
Okay, fine.
And tastes delicious.
Okay, so we'll find you some. Nowadays, they make everything in gummy form. Downside is that they're high sugar content, so it's not good for your diabetic patients or like the ones who are trying to diet and whatever. But it's a little bit, the same amount that you put a little sugar in your coffee, it's not going to kill you.
Well, so okay. One of the things that's really that I really was curious what you thought about it. We're the only country that allows advertisement of medication.
Well, supposedly that's supposed to stop. So
When?
they say.
Oh, because of
RFK,
RFK.
he's anti it. I think it's horrible that they advertise because I have customers coming into the store all the
That's
time.
my question.
I see this drug. It's the magic pill. It's going to change my life. It's going to be...
They're not even going to the doctor.
No, they
Walking
come in.
over to you.
So a lot of people come, could you throw it off the... No. I have my license. I have my store. Go to the doctor, get a prescription. If you want to know education about it, I'm here to teach you. I'm here to tell you what's the right thing. But these are not quick fixes. Like, I had someone who come in and ask me about this specific trilogy that she saw, her inhaler, and she suffers with terrible asthma. And I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. You're going to your pulmonologist in 6 weeks from now. Bring it up. Ask him why he didn't bring it up. Why is he giving you 4 other inhalers? Why is he giving you all these other steroids for long-term use? Now you're getting other issues happening because you have no immune system because you're on your steroid. So all the drugs are causing you to have other problems. You should just go on 1 or 2 of the things that have, let's say Trilogy has 3 mechanisms of action. So that could cut out 2 inhalers that you're using on a daily basis to 1 inhaler with 1 puff once a day. So it's not that we're saying take away everything. And we're not saying to just take or go on a million medications. It's that you have to find the proper treatments for what's going on in your life. So whether it's an asthma patient or a psychiatric patient or a diabetic patient, you need to find the right balance because you don't want them there. I have patients who go on certain drugs like Ozempic and they're like, I'm only using it for weight loss. They're not candidates. They don't realize that there's medullary thyroid cancer involved.
No, that's my negative. Let's go. Ozempic. Take a breath.
Oh, what I have to say on Ozempic. Okay. I mean, look.
That was one of my questions.
It changed a lot of people's lives.
I did Ozempic for a little bit.
How'd you feel?
It wasn't bad. It was just my burps smelled like farts.
Yeah, were you on like a lot of Gazex and charcoal and all these other things? Okay, so like I have a lot of customers.
No, I did all right. Everybody was telling me it was going to be bad. I just had these very weird burps.
You did it for the weight loss situation?
Yeah.
Okay, then how did you gain it back after you were done?
You always get that. I never agree with that one. Go on any wacky diet, you're going to gain back because you didn't change your behaviors.
Right. So that's so.
I don't think it has to do with the medication.
So Ozempic.
I won 2 weight loss contests. I am like a professional gainer and loser of weight.
You are the biggest loser, right? Is that one? That's one.
I am literally a loser, like a big loser. That's.
But I would take that kind of loser if I could get skinny like that and
I could get really intense, and I lost 26% of my weight in 90 days. And that was without Ozempic or anything. Ozempic didn't exist.
Diet and exercise. What'd you do?
I juiced for 3 months. I just didn't eat food.
But were you like weak?
No, I had more energy than I ever had in my entire life because your body uses so much energy to eat,
right?
To digest your food, and there's no digesting anymore. It was the only time I ever had energy my whole life.
But
when I was starving to death.
Starved to death. Get skinny.
It gives you a lot of energy.
Yeah, because your body. You're also like, remember, you have a lot of fat stores. So your body, when you're not giving it food, your body's naturally eating at its own fat. You're not gonna die. I mean, I'm not giving medical advice.
Yeah.
There
was a guy in England. He just said, I'm not eating anymore until I'm at my goal weight. He was like 500 pounds, and he didn't eat for over a year.
Yeah, I saw him on Instagram.
Is that the
like
guy?
This fat guy on Instagram? That,
Wild.
Like, yeah, and I was watching him like, how is he living like this? But he would only drink.
I think he was drinking water.
Water. That's it. I couldn't watch that. It was too much for me. But I saw he came up as an ad.
We should really bulk up in case we end up on an island or something.
Yeah.
Like on a desert island, and
you just be fat.
You're just real fat. You could last like a year out there.
Okay, so if we think the world is ending, we just got to get fat, guys. That's the goal. That's what we're doing. No, but it makes sense. Like your body has energy. So let's hit the whole.
Okay, so what happens with Ozempic? What
okay, so Ozempic basically it's slowing your gastric emptying in your stomach, so you feel fuller.
Gastric
emptying. So your stomach. So food. You eat your food. Like I'm not gonna use any fancy words. We're gonna do everything plain.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you every time.
So it's basically you eat your food. It goes through your digestive system. It goes down to your digestive system, and it needs to come out eventually. And what it does, it lowers your gastric emptying. So you feel fuller longer. It also sends signals to your brain. It keeps your blood sugar balanced for a longer time. So if you're staying at as your blood sugar stays balanced for longer, you stay fuller for longer. It does have a lot of benefits that it keeps you younger, it keeps you fuller, it keeps all these things because your body is not, it's like not working so hard, so to say. Like I have to find you the correct mechanism. It's a GLP-1 antagonist, agonist. I'm missing all the, it's a peptide.
I heard it like makes you more fertile.
So, okay.
I heard it.
So with fertility.
This is the wonder drug. Why are we hating on it?
So we're not hating on it.
Okay.
So I had patients, diabetic patients that were taking 8-9 drugs. They're taking their metformin and sulfonylureas and all their medications and their Jardins and this, and they're having, because they're not taking, this drug gives them UTI, so they're constantly taking other medications because you take your Jardins, you take your Invokana, you're peeing all day, you're getting UTIs, you're getting this. So there's a chain reaction. Everything has its pros and its cons. It works. It has, there's nothing that comes in neutral. I'm completely side effect free. I'm great. It might be side effect free for you, but not for her and not for the next person. And you'll have different outcomes. So it's not a bad drug. It's not a drug that I would say, don't go on Ozempic. It's terrible for you. Absolutely not. It changed people's lives. Patients that I know has lost 70, 80 pounds. They weren't able to move. They had low self-confidence. They're falling into depression. They're not functioning. They needed that Ozempic to really start their weight loss, and then it's not that they're going to be on it long term. They're going to be on it.
But are there effects that you're seeing that are really bad, or you just get off?
So there are. So we do have. So I know someone personally who they didn't know they had the gene for medullary thyroid cancer, and they have thyroid cancer.
Okay.
Did they test properly beforehand? Did they do their proper due diligence? No.
So is that one of the potential side effects?
That's the number one black box warning that you can't be on it. And they didn't like if you have any history. So the doctor asks you, you say no, I don't have any history of it. Cool, here we're gonna prescribe it for you. But if they did gene testing, they would have known that their great grandmother from 2-3 years that passed away, that they didn't have gene testing or they have the gene for it. They didn't know.
Okay, I want to tell you something that's funny.
Yeah.
It's on this because I actually met you once before. You didn't know it. No, it's not a joke. I was online in the pharmacy, Uptown Pharmacy.
Was I nice?
My favorite pharmacy.
Yes.
I want to say it's my favorite pharmacy.
It is your favorite pharmacy.
It's also the closest to my house, but it is my favorite pharmacy. I didn't know I had a favorite pharmacy until you sat here. But I was online, and I'm always looking for a good dad joke.
Right.
And right in front of me, somebody had gotten Ozempic, and you were telling them that if you took this other brand, then I don't know if you're allowed to do this, but if you ask your doctor about the other brand, it's a shot. You take a shot, but it is cheaper or whatever, and it works the same or something like that.
Right. So we have
I didn't hear the whole thing. I shouldn't have been listening because it was like
HIPAA. Come on.
It was HIPAA. I don't know who the guy was. Anyway, I walked up to the counter, and the guy said, no problem. And I walked up and just said, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's worth a shot. And it was a pun, and just you had no idea what I was talking about.
Okay, it goes right over my Persian head.
Right, I walked out in shame, but that was the last time. I just it's worth a shot, and I'm ready for the
haha.
And there was nothing.
No, I go 1,000,000 miles an hour in the pharmacy. I'm pulled in 1,000 directions, and I love what I do. So I can't not work in the pharmacy. I love it. I really do. So I sometimes I'm focused on one patient. Someone else.
Missed that joke.
It probably went right over my head.
Anyway, so I'm saying for that joke, I was saying that all these other meds are pretty much the same thing.
Look, so Ozempic, Mounjaro, they're all GLPs. There's a whole class of drugs. So they're gonna there's Victoza, there's the Saxenda, there's all these other drugs that people Trulicity. The ones that are notorious for the weight loss are the Mounjaro and Ozempic. They even came out FDA approved with Wegovy and Zepbound. Mounjaro is exactly Zepbound. Wegovy is exactly Ozempic, produced by the same manufacturers. So they're not different. Then patients try these other meds, and they're also getting the weight loss outcomes, but not as significant as they were with these two. That's why they're the most popular, and they're advertised the most.
And I saw advertised a pill form. That's
Rybelsus.
Okay.
Rybelsus is Ozempic in a pill form. So there's no Mounjaro in a pill form. but Rybelsus is. And these are really diabetic drugs. So what they did is they made these drugs for diabetes. They saw people's A1Cs dropping. I had a guy, his A1C was 9.
What's A1C?
That's that's what a marker that they use to check. They check your hemoglobin to see what your sugar number. So like if you have anything above like a 6, if I'm not mistaken, you're considered a diabetic, or like 6.5. Whatever.
Right,
I'm not good. I didn't brush up on my numbers. It's been a while since I've been in school.
You're in trouble.
Oh, don't tell them. But basically, how it goes is based on what your number is. That's like how you're more diabetic. So if you have a 9, that's not good. A patient with 14 is getting insulin. You're before you eat anytime, you're injecting yourself with insulin. So I've had plenty of patients who, it's crazy how Big Pharma works, because they started their A1C at an 8, at a 9. They're taking 5, 6, 7 diabetic drugs. They're candidates for Ozempic. They get approved. Their insurance pays for it. They're great. They're losing weight. Their sugar drops. They come back a year later. I'm here for my annual. You could check your A1C every 3 months. So you come back a year later. The doctor's like, I want to check your meds. I see that we could cancel out 4 of your drugs. You're doing fantastic. We're just keeping you on metformin and Ozempic. That's like the 2 drugs. Their A1C is 5.6. They're not diabetic. Now their insurance companies tell them, sorry, you're not diabetic. We can't treat you anymore. So now you're not a candidate for your Ozempic.
Really?
So then they come in crying to the store, and we're stuck. Like I had from literally this happened last week. Somebody is there since December. We're trying to get him back on his medication, and he's starving himself, and not intentionally, because every time, so they took off all his diabetic meds. He's only on metformin right now. He needed the Ozempic that he was on. They won't reapprove him. It's $1,200 a month if you get the original stuff. We're not talking about the compounds and what everybody else sells. Legitimate, this is what they have, and he can't get his drugs. But if he starts eating again, he starts gaining weight, his sugar keeps going up, he's feeling dizzy, he's feeling weak, he's not functioning.
Wow. And this is someone who was a diabetic.
Who was a diabetic. Look, if
it worked too well.
Yeah, if you keep him off the drugs, he'll go back to being diabetic. His sugar is going to go up. It's going to happen. And his doctor had to do an appeal to an appeal to an appeal.
So let me ask you a question. If you have a family member, overweight,
yeah,
that's the only issue.
Yeah.
Healthy, overweight, doesn't like walking upstairs so much. But, would you suggest that? I mean,
I would say, like, really talk to your doctor. I would say, like, look, if you did diet, exercise, you've done it all. You've literally done it all, and you just cannot shake your weight. And it's not like, don't tell me like, oh, I'm eating that cake in the back, and I'm not telling anybody, and I'm really not moving my body, and I'm not doing anything else. I just want the pill. Come on, get with the program. Do something. Me. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but also there's alternatives. So besides for all this pharma stuff, I got into the vitamins and a lot of the natural holistic health, because I feel like for everything that they have there is a holistic version for it. So I started.
Wait, slow down. I want to go. I want to go holistic, but I have a question.
No, so I'll tell you another option that they could do instead of Ozempic.
What's that?
So
stop eating so much. No.
Besides for that, shut your mouth.
As it works for me.
No, so I'm saying, let's say for this, like I had patients that come in and they're like, I want Ozempic, I want this. I'm like, have you tried taking a good probiotic? Have you taken turmeric to decrease your inflammation? Have you tried doing other things, taking ALA? It's a vitamin, 100% natural. It will help you reduce your blood sugar. I would give it cinnamon. There's something called blood sugar support. It's like this Indian herbal stuff. And you take these vitamins and you really feel like if you go to certain endocrinologists, they'll tell you to take these things in conjunction with your diabetes meds.
Gotcha.
So if you want to lose weight, they say you want Ozempic to work better, do these things. So we want to keep you on so I'll say go on Ozempic on the 0.5 milligrams on a low dose and take all these other supplements. So you're not maxing out at 2.4 milligrams of Wegovy. And all of a sudden you're on the highest dose, you're not losing weight, you plateaued, and the second you start reducing your weight, you're gaining it all back. So there has to be
reducing the dose.
Yeah.
Then you're gaining it back.
Or not really. You need to learn how to, like, there's a whole science behind it of reducing your dose and getting you off the drug and making sure you don't gain it back.
How could you not get it back? You haven't changed your behaviors.
You need to. So the whole point of Ozempic is to help you change your behaviors. You're realizing that you don't need to eat as much.
Okay, but this takes me. I call Ozempic the methadone of food.
Yeah.
Like while you're on methadone, you're not dying.
Yeah, the second you go
And the
off.
second you go off, you're back on your heroin. You're back on your food. That's how it works. It doesn't. So you told me you work in a methadone clinic.
Yes.
So that's
Used
really
to.
so. Okay. So in my industry, I and one of my biggest things that makes me the most upset in the addiction and recovery industry. I'm calling it industry because it's also an industry. That's
Right.
That's what, especially this part. But in the addiction industry, I've been to meetings with the health department of New York,
Right.
and they are saying the gold standard of dealing with opiate addiction is Suboxone
Right.
or Methadone,
Right.
and they've said it, and I'm like, I want to see the numbers. I want to see the way you're coming up with this, because what I'm having is guys coming into these programs,
Okay.
and they are every day taking their dose, and the second they come off of this, whenever they come off, no matter how much work they think they did in the middle, they're living like, to me, they're like living like dead people. And I'm really upset about it. She can't get it.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about it. So when you say to me, Ozempic, you get off Ozempic, you're not going to gain your weight back. You're going to gain your weight back because what work did you
Because
do?
while you're on the Ozempic, you need to do lifestyle modification. You need to do diet. You need to.
Why would I do that if I'm just losing my weight?
Because you're on Ozempic, you eat that cake, you're gonna feel sick. Did you feel good to eat that piece of cake when you were on Ozempic?
And you take the Ozempic off, you feel great eating that cake.
Yeah. So that's what it is. But you trained yourself to realize, because what Ozempic, like, let's say what our bodies do. We eat something, your sugar spikes. The problem is you're not feeling it right away. You feel it a little bit later. You feel your stomach side effects. You eat that Chinese food that's killing you. But you feel it in 5
Chinese
hours.
food killing us?
I don't know. I love Chinese food.
I
I'm not going
love
to say
Chinese
no.
food.
I'm not
Okay.
saying no.
All right, we're not
Where's
knocking.
my cheap Chinese in Brooklyn? That place is bomb.com. Okay.
Which one? Let's
The one on
shout it
18th
out.
Avenue?
18th and...
That was like my favorite
And
place.
the
I haven't
one.
been there in 10 years.
Oh
Like I
my
haven't been
gosh.
there in a
It's
while.
probably not even open anymore.
Probably. I don't know. That place on 18th. So, I don't
Cheap
know.
Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was literally
So
called
you
cheap.
eat the Chinese, you feel you get
That
it.
oil, the grease, the seed oils, everything that you have, it's unhealthy, but you like binge eat that. You take Ozempic, you go for Chinese, you eat a quarter of the portion, you eat barely anything, you start feeling sick right away.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling sick right away? Because your body's having an instant reaction. It's literally it's letting you feel how your body would have felt in 6 hours from now, but you're feeling it now while you're eating it and hurting yourself.
Right.
So that's why I like that. I like that. So like the patients actually could feel what's happening to them. Oh, I don't want to do this to myself. Your
Do
body's
you
a
believe
temple.
that they're actually changing their behaviors?
I have people who change their behaviors.
Okay, fine.
I'm not saying everybody. Look, it's not everybody. There's a lot of people who
No,
have.
because I mean, in the addiction world, I don't see the behavior change. You have to get off this stuff and do the work. Like,
Right. You need to do the work. Well, in addiction, you have to also give them the support and the tools to do
I'm
their
also
work.
really invested in Weight Watchers, and it's gone in the garbage because of Ozempic. I just want to say that.
I think like a lot of these programs have
Nobody
gone-
wants to go on a diet if I could just take a
Take
shot.
shot.
That's
But also a lot of people are not candidates. They're not candidates to be on it.
who's not candidate? Oh,
Because of certain things that go on and they're not a candidate, or like they'll take it and they don't do like. I have patients that get really sick, and it could be just like the dose they got on dose too high. Like they started way too high. They
Right.
pumped themselves with milk. They got so sick. They're traumatized now. I'm never touching that. Give me fluids. I'm sick in bed for 3 days. I'm diarrhea, I'm vomiting.
I've
I
heard
can't-
stories of, like making it, having diarrhea at work and stuff.
Yes,
Like, I've
I
heard
have a
some-
lot with that Manjaro.
Oh, really? Manjaro?
Yeah. So I mean, they're all interchangeable. So I just keep referencing back to Manjaro has double mechanism of action. So that's why people go on that, because it supposedly works better, but it is more expensive.
Okay, so I want to go back to the doctors, because most doctors I know are good people.
They are.
They're giving out enormous amounts of meds. I have a question. How much you think it's the parents pushing the doctors to do more things? Is there a lot of that there? Because I see that.
There are. I would say there's some. Look, it really depends on the parent and the family dynamic. Some. When I worked in certain neighborhoods, the parents wanted their kids to be perfect, and my kid can't be on drugs, can't be on anything. Nobody can know. We're not even going to come to your pharmacy to fill our antipsychotics. We're going to go to the CVS because we don't want the Heimish people to know.
Oh, wow.
What's going on. Like, they just wanted to keep it out of the community. And I get it. It's a stigma. It's not spoken about. People don't realize how important mental health is.
You guys should make a back door.
Yeah. Don't worry. People come to the vet. They knock and they said that they need stuff.
No way.
the things that go on in a pharmacy, but I try to keep everyone come to the front. We keep everything private. I really care about my patients. I know them on a first name basis. I know who they are, whose grandkids are coming, who's making a wedding, what's happening. I keep up with my customers.
Okay. It's a neighborhood pharmacy, which don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
why.
cool.
Don't go to CVS. Come to Uptown Pharmacy or Greenbaum's Pharmacy, whichever one.
This is not an advertisement, folks.
Yeah.
I'm
saying wherever you're located, support your local mom and pop pharmacies. They really care.
Right.
You really go to a place where someone.
So what I'm saying is that how much you think the parents are pushing this situation?
So there are, I could go to certain parents and I could say they're pushing for their kids to go off drugs. They want their kid to take the least medications. They come to the pharmacy, they cry. They literally cry. Why me? Why my son? Why my daughter? Why does she need to be on an antidepressant? Why does she have to be? I had a lady come in crying hysterical for herself. Like she just had a baby. She was suffering with PPD. Her son was put on Zoloft. Her son was put on this antipsychotic. And he's 7 years old.
No.
Yeah.
You could put a 7-year-old in antipsychotic?
You could put them on anything. Well, he was being aggressive.
There are no laws about this?
And the crazy thing is when the state gets involved and they see that your kid is acting crazy, they push you and make you. I know somebody who one of my clients, not even from, I know them for years. They were with me in my Brooklyn pharmacy here, this farm, everywhere that I've been. And they just follow up with me like every time they change their drug, even if they don't use our store particularly till this day. And he's like, he has a 12-year-old who is kicked out of every school system. Public school kicked him out. He's aggressive. There's major issues that were going on, and the doctors just prescribed drugs and drugs and drugs, and they never got the right concoction. He ended up in the psych ward a few times in the city, upstate over here, all over town, and the state is now he wants to go try a new psychiatrist, take off all the drugs, start from scratch. Mm-hmm. The state's like they come and do well checks. He has to make sure that his kid is medicated, that he's filling his prescriptions.
Like
from a legal perspective.
He has to be on those meds?
Yeah, I don't know the stories, the ins and outs. I asked him a few times and he got very emotional. He didn't want to really, look, I don't push you to say if you don't want to say. Like, I respect everyone's boundaries. But there's some, they come in and they say, I told him a few times, so take him to a new psychiatrist, get him evaluated, start on the drugs. No, but the state came to my house the other day and wanted to make sure my kid was taking the medication because when he was in school, he bit a kid and punched a kid in the face, and they thought that maybe we took him off his meds, and they wanted to take him away from us because we're abusing him by not giving him his medication. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what do you do? But the parents want the best for their kid. They don't want their 12-year-old to be a zombie, but they're like, if they keep giving all these medications, the kid's a zombie. His personality is gone. He just wants to eat and sleep. And he's tired all the time, and he can't function, and he has low self-esteem because he knows he's the kid taking nine meds, and no one else in his class is.
Okay, so if that story is wild. I
feel so bad.
I want to tell you, there are very few things that make me more angry than little kids medicated up the wazoo. It's the amount of rage I feel inside is really not great. Yeah. And I'm a very calm person, so I don't expect it to happen. But now, like, it's funny because I'm sitting here talking to a pharmacist and we're talking about a lot of, the drugs that help our mental health. Right. What is the percentage of drugs right now coming into that are mental health drugs and regular health drugs? I'm sure there's a big mix. There's a big mix. Also, remember, sometimes when you take some of these mental health drugs, let's say in adults, for example, they're very weight gaining. So now what happens? They have to take cholesterol medication because their cholesterol went through the roof because I'm saying like the pharmacy used to be like almost 100% just health. Like here's an antibiotic, here's a this. Like it was like health.
I think it just wasn't talked about. I think it was always a lot of this, and you just never really knew.
Is it more of this than regular health stuff? You don't really know.
I think it's a big mix. I really think it's a big mix. It really depends per patient. I could say like my patients, some of them are coming because they donated a kidney or a kidney receiver, or the sick kid on antibiotics. I worked in an oncology center for a couple of years. A lot of chemo, a lot of preventative meds, they got into remission. We don't want them to relapse. There's a big, huge mix. It really depends on what industry you're in. Then there's the stuff, my acne, my creams, my fungus, different kinds of stuff. So there's a huge mix, a huge sprinkle. It really depends on what your population is, where you're located. Are you working in a population that's highly pediatrics and highly, young families that all they have is a lot of antibiotics going through a revolving door?
Right.
Are you in a neighborhood that's a lot of elderly and they have a lot of other conditions going on? Their blood pressure, their sugar,
So there's still a lot of regular health stuff. Tons.
Okay. And there's also, like, people don't realize you could come to your pharmacy and we're not only a pharmacy. We go to be your health food store, and we can give you vitamins and nutrition and things to be preventative health and do holistic. Like when you walk into Uptown, we have tons of vitamins. I have a huge vitamin selection. I'm extremely knowledgeable about that. I'll tell customers, come in.
Yeah, tell me about the
hydrant.
Yeah, the IV, but also like all this health. Like, it's interesting because pharmacies are usually pushing the not vitamins, not pushing anything, but I'm saying it's.
So I feel like pharmacists
very focused on the
are your
healthy
night. Okay, because I really care about my patients. Like, if you come into the store, I really care. Sometimes it's maybe I care too much and I need to stop. Like, sometimes you get emotionally involved and all this, and you have to learn. When I worked in oncology, I went to a lot of levayas, a lot of funerals, a lot of young mothers and fathers and kids who passed away, and like, I would cry. I would get sad about it. And it really hurt because I was like, on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, you talk to these patients and you try to help them and try to improve their quality of life. And bye-bye. Like, it sucks. It's horrible. It's a really horrible, like, that's why I tried to move away from that, because it emotionally gets to you. Working in the psych ward, how many kids could you see suffering like this, or adults? And it's hard. It's really hard to watch. You need to be strong to do, like, what you do. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And kudos to you, because like a lot of people can't, because it's like emotionally, it's exhausting. And you come home and I want to have energy to take care of my kids and take care of my family too. I have all this energy for everyone in the store. I want to bring it back home and also give the same love to my family.
It's true.
So,
it's the saddest thing when I talked all day, and then I come home and I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, these are people I want to talk to.
Yeah. These are the ones that,
yeah, I hear.
But it's hard. So like, I try to move away move more into preventative health, holistic health. How can we increase your quality of life, make you have a better life without relying on all these other things? How could we prevent you from getting to the point of needing all these medications? Which, the medications are here for a reason. They are here to help. It's not that you need to go extreme one length, extreme the other way.
Right.
If you find an even balance of putting both of them together, you'll have a better lifestyle. You have a better life, better outcomes for both. So that's why I got very passionate into like all this holistic health. Like, look, I lost a good 70 pounds. Like, I was a couple of years after I had my kid, I was just
70 pounds?
70. Roly-poly, felt about myself.
Congrats. That's a pretty big
I gained a lot of it back. I lost a lot of it, gained a lot of it.
Ozempic? Oh,
without the Ozempic. Without
Ozempic.
But
no one believes you anymore. You know that.
It's like, no. But you know what? I took metformin.
What is that?
That's a regular diabetes med.
Okay.
Regular nothing, because I wanted to balance my sugar. I went to the doctor. He's like, you know what? You don't need to go on Ozempic and do all of that, but your sugar is a little rocky. You are a little bit pre-diabetic. Why don't you take metformin for a couple of months together with, I want you to take a probiotic. I want you to take an anti-inflammatory. I want you to take ALA. I want to boost your metabolism with other vitamins and other things that we could give you in conjunction. So I was taking a prebiotic and a probiotic. I was doing all this, and it helped. And one of my friends now, she tried Ozempic. It really didn't help for her. It didn't work.
Right.
No matter what she tried, it was nothing. She lost 3 pounds over a month. And she
Really?
all this for 3 pounds, and she was paying out of pocket. So it was pricey. I told her, do me a favor. Just take the vitamins. I'm going to give you a little regimen right here, all orally. See how you feel. She came back to me 6 weeks later. I lost 10 pounds. Okay, I'll take 10 pounds in 6 weeks. Slow. She was able to keep it off. She was able to feel good on it. Great. I had a friend last week. She saw me post on my status, and I never post on my status. And she's, what are you spewing over here? What's this nonsense? I'm like, I don't know, just try it. And I gave, she lives in Lakewood. She doesn't live here. I sent her a couple of recommendations. I'm like, I'm not even making money off you. I'm giving you free advice. Enjoy my free advice. She told me she lost 4 pounds. It's been 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not even.
So wait, so why is that working?
Because our gut, a lot of people, you don't take care of yourself. We're eating garbage. We're eating processed foods. We're doing all these things that you're harming yourself without even realizing you're harming yourself. And it's not intentional. So when you find some sort of equal balance, and I tell her, like, reduce your sugar intake a little bit as much as you can. I get it. You're not going to give up all your sugar. You're not giving up your coffee. Take an anti-inflammatory. Reduce the anti-inflammatory. Do an IV CBD. Do something else that's different.
Wait. IV CBD. Sorry. What is that?
Well, okay. So
CBD like THC CBD?
But no THC, only
okay,
CBD.
No, I got you.
Yeah. So like so part of hydrant, like the vitamin. So because of all this pharma stuff, I got very into the holistic. And I realized that a lot of vitamins you take, you're not absorbing it properly when you take it by mouth because there's a lot of gut issues, a lot of things. So it takes a longer time to get that effect and to get the benefits. So if you would take an IV of the vitamins, you're hitting 100% straight into your bloodstream and you get a lot bigger effects. Like, someone needs energy and they're extremely deficient in the B vitamins. That's what's contributing to your energy. Let's give you an energy drip, something that has high B vitamins, methylated in the proper forms, not because you have the cyanocobalamin, you have the methcobalamin.
Whoa, stop with the big words. Jeez. I'm a regular person.
Okay, so B vitamins have a bunch, is like called, like I would just say easy way, like the cobalamin. So there's methcobalamin, cyanocobalamin. There's different forms.
What is a balamine?
It's like your vitamin B. Vitamin B.
Okay.
Your regular vitamin Bs contribute to your energy levels, right?
Dumb it down for me.
Like,
okay.
Like you take vitamin C when you're feeling sick?
I don't.
Do you take anything when you're...
I don't take anything ever. I don't even take a headache medication if I have a headache.
You're anti-all pills?
No, I have this real, and maybe this is from a damaged childhood, which is what everything I do is from a damaged childhood. So I just believe that I feel like part of what makes us weaker as a people is that every time pain comes around, we have to fix it immediately.
Yeah, quick fix with a Band-Aid.
So I've found that majority of my headaches, they go away. My stomach aches, they go away. Right now, I'm in tremendous amount of neck pain. Everybody's like, "You want a massage?" I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I think it's just...
I should give you an IV CBD. And
right,
I'll take away your...
CBD. No, so I like the idea, and part of it is maybe I just don't take great care of myself. Like I probably should be like doing more IV, like more preventative stuff. I don't.
Right. It's usually the healthcare providers who don't take care of themselves, by the way. So like you, with all the mental health and everything that you help, do take care of your mental health.
I try.
You're right. So it's
There's
coming
a lot of work. Mental health I try to take care of, but my physical health, I mean, I try not to die.
That's why. So you want to be around for your kids. You want to be around for your family, for your loved ones, for everybody, and continue doing all the good that you do. You need to take care of yourself.
Do you think there's something in the food? Sorry, I'm jumping topics again. You move so fast that I
told you.
I have to pull back and remember all the questions I have in the middle. There's a lot of great information. I really love it.
I told you I blabble when I get comfortable.
It's good. I love it. That's the best podcast guest and someone who loves talking. Okay, so have you taken pictures, by the way? Good. I want those pictures. Okay, so I've seen a bunch of videos how like it's basically like the food we're eating right now, like we don't have a chance. Like we're getting fat. Like it's like unless you were like eating, even if you're eating regular like fruits and vegetables, stuff they put on it, and it's stacked against you. Like, is that true? Are you finding
I'm not sure if it's my algorithm and all of that, because like I also see the same things that you're seeing and you're talking about. And I'm like, is it because I'm more into the holistic health and my algorithm goes that way? But I did I'm not sure if it's a conspiracy or not. I really don't know. I want to say, sometimes I feel that like I'm eating all healthy. I'm eating only salads and only protein and everything is clean grilled chicken. But are they pumping our foods with hormones and this? I don't know. I'm not well versed enough to say that yes or no, like that. I do think that there's something is maybe not the way that it was back 50 years ago and the way things were made. It's definitely not the same. It's, look, when you go to Israel and you could eat, or England or France, and you could eat unlimited pasta and you don't gain weight.
What's the deal with that?
Why did, when you come here, I look at bread and I get 5 pounds, thank you. So it's like, I feel like there might be something to it. Could it be the pesticides? Could it be all these other things?
You're not
Look,
sure.
I don't want to say because then I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but I don't know.
mind a conspiracy
I don't
theory.
know because the more I read it, I'm like, they wouldn't be poisoning us. Why would the government? Why would they do that to us? Why? It doesn't make sense. But then again, I'm like, but hey, what are all these people running their mouth and making these videos? I don't know. Am I just watching different channels? If I go to the other channels, am I going to see the total
Listen,
opposite?
I think that COVID made us really not trust anybody. It's a scary time when you don't trust your government, you don't trust the doctors, you don't trust the scientists. It's like that was a very difficult
a lot of
time
chaos.
for
There was
us.
a lot of chaos going around, and nobody knew who was doing the right thing. You know, people were getting sent to the hospitals. I worked through the whole COVID thing. I got COVID right away. I didn't even know it was COVID by the time we got COVID. And then it started coming out and all these things because I was like, oh, I have no taste and smell. It's been about 2 months. This is a little bit weird. Oh, I eat peppers and I taste like metal. Like, it was kind of weird. Until finally, 6 months later, everything dissipated. But it was the height of COVID and, you know, everyone's locked down. So there are a lot of things that are scary and that we don't know and are unknowns. And that really opened my eyes. And that's when I really went into, okay, I shouldn't be the most conventional pharmacist to say, only take your meds and screw all these vitamins and they're you know, they don't work. I started doing research. I started reading books. I started talking to other healthcare providers who are more into the holistic health and the preventative health, and some chiropractors and some MD. Like, you know, I went to acupuncture for the first time. Me, like, go to acupuncture. I don't take care of myself. You know, I come to work, I take care of my patients, and I went and did all these things because I wanted to find some other outlets and discuss. I tried my first IV vitamin. I wanted to see what all the hype is about. What is it? And like, I felt different. I felt good. I was like, okay, let me research this. Let me find out why it made me feel good. What's happening? Why these concoctions at different amounts? I'm saying, like, look, if someone is taking a hangover drip, if you're saying they're completely vitamin based, it's not. You get some Zofran in there. You can get some Pepsin in there. You could opt out.
What's a hangover?
So let's say people drink they drink too much.
Not my guys. They're all sober.
Oh, sober. Not here. Our village is not the place. So let's say, like, you know, holidays are coming. People overdrink. Even on a regular weekend, you know.
Perm's coming up.
Yeah, Perm's
Right.
here.
Well, this is going to come out after Perm. So.
But I'm saying, yeah, or anything that goes on. I see it like, oh, in the summer, we went to a summer camping weekend and we were wasted and and all these things.
And then you could take an IV drip.
So what it is, it's like you become basically dehydrated.
Right.
And you're depleting yourself of a lot of your vitamins and nutrients. So, you know, when you're hungover, it takes a day or two, whatever, till you replenish, till you get back to normal. You feel sick as a dog, right?
Right.
What these IVs, how it works is that we're giving you fluid, like a bag of fluid with all the vitamins. We'll also put some anti-nausea meds or heartburn medication or things like that to help with the symptoms. So that way you can get back to yourself faster and you feel better. And it's science-based. These are not heebie-jeebie, oh, I said so that these vitamins work. No, they're science-based. Science is funny because if you have funding, Big Pharma will listen to your studies. They'll give you research. They'll sponsor you'll move along and you'll get what you wanted. I had many professors who created drugs or got to the final stages of producing a drug and then it got shut down. Funding shut down. The studies didn't go as planned. A lot of things happen. And then, but like when there's unlimited vitamin C out there, who's investing money to research it and see what benefits it could do? Nobody.
People talk a lot. My mother just had cancer, and vitamin C was a big part of the treatment.
The high dose vitamin C therapy.
Right.
I know.
Didn't save her life, but I'm saying I guess it did something. I don't know.
I mean, it could have been.
I know people were fighting for it. You got to give a lot of vitamin C. I like didn't do anything.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's very controversial. So like, I know somebody else like very near and dear to me who was like recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I got a call last night that he doesn't. And I was like, what'd you do? And they refused to do a biopsy, refused to do all these things. And I was mad. I was like, come on, take care of yourself. Go to an oncologist. What do you mean? You're not going to scan yourself. You don't want to know what's going on. Your blood work clearly shows that something is going on. My brother-in-law is a radiologist. He looked at that blood work and he's like, whoever this patient is, get him to the hospital now.
Right.
Urgent. This is not a joke. And they said no. And I said, you know what? Fine. I respect your choice. You have a choice. I'm not going to force you and push you to do whatever. But I said, what are we going to do you have tons of grandkids. You have tons of people who care about you.
They had no plan at all?
I said, what's the plan? Let's discuss the plan. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do some vitamins. I was like, okay, let's find a doctor that's going to do high dose vitamin C therapy. Let me start researching. And I went, and he went, and we went, and we researched, and he did high dose vitamin C therapy for the last half year. And he changed his diet, cut out sugar, cut out gluten, cut out a bunch of stuff from his diet. I was like, oh, this is not a fun life. You can't enjoy any food. But, to him, it was better than doing the chemo and better doing than everything. And thank God, God was good. And he's cleared.
Really?
This is 1 in a million. This is not the normal. This is not something
if
that
it's 1 in a million, how come I've heard about it so many times?
I'm saying, but no, a lot of people do it and they still pass away.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, you can't take away from it. I know people who had breast cancer who's done the high dose vitamin C in conjunction with their chemo to help battle the side effects of the chemo. So, I don't want to be bad medical advice and say, go one way or go the other way, because I think you need to find that equal balance, that even balance. What's the right thing to do? It's hard. So
okay,
for
so
him,
let's talk to me about IV drip. I keep hearing about it, and you told me you do it.
So
what is that?
So
and I want to do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a drip right after this. Okay.
No, we'll get it on video and everything.
Yeah,
We'll put
yeah.
it on. Okay.
I'm gonna set you up. So basically, we have my company's called Hydrant. So it's I trademarked the name. I became fancy over here.
Hydrant
vitamin therapy.
Okay.
It's supposed to be kind of we're hydration and we're high and we're friendly. Not high as in high, but high as in hey, kind of that. And we're here to.
You make it such a friendly version. Okay.
It is. So
what is it? What is it
so
we doing?
So there's based on different ailments and different things that are going on, or not even ailments, based on different things that you want in your life, we have a different drip for that. So for example, I know one of my friend's mom suffers severely from rheumatoid arthritis. She's taking an insane amount of anti-inflammatories, causing her to have stomach ulcers, having to take your Oxy occasionally, your Percocet, your meds, because you are in excruciating pain and this is the only thing that's going to get you out. I said, why don't we try IV CBD? CBD is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's calming. It takes away inflammation. It works a little as an antioxidant. It has a lot of benefits. So you could use it for your Crohn's disease patients. You could use it for your anxiety patients. You could use it for your patients who are just having inflammation. You could use it for so many different things. We gave her a drip literally on Sunday.
All it is CBD?
CBD in a bag.
Just a lot of it.
It's very concentrated. It's completely pure and clean. It's not like these pills and gummies and all these things that you take. This is pure CBD going straight into your IV line. There's one company who produces it. I'm not aware of anyone else. Could be more by now, but this is you get your IV CBD.
Okay, you give her an IV CBD.
She calls her daughter yesterday, my friend, and she's like, I didn't take painkillers in 2 days since I took the drip. I feel fabulous. I could walk. I could walk without holding on. I could function. I could move. What did you give me? What is this? And she's like, okay, she wants to commit now, potentially, hopefully. It's the old day moms that are very into, I don't need your help, Persian mom.
Right.
This
is a Persian mom that's coming?
This is actually a Syrian mom. Oh. But, who married a Persian. So you come into this place and they're very into, they don't want help from anybody. They got this. They're strong. They're oxes,
That's me.
Oh, yeah. Have you met my mom?
I'm a Persian mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're beasts and they don't want the help. And she feels fabulous and she's able to move. And then I have a friend who literally was also back pain, joint pain, going to the chiropractor, going to the doctor, surgery, orthopedist every day. What are we going to do? Because she's in excruciating pain. She's been taking the IV CBD now for 3 months, every 2 weeks, getting her infusion and feels phenomenal. No meds, no nothing. Everything.
How often do you have to do it?
So the thing is, depending on the different treatments or what you're trying to get, it's a different duration. Someone could do an IV CBD and they're good for a week. Other people need it every 2 weeks. It really depends what you're trying to do. And every time you do another drip, we could change the dose. So you start at your 4 milligrams, we increase to 8, see how you're doing. So then there's other, look, we did a weight loss treatment. So I wanted to find an alternative for Ozempic.
Okay.
So I ran this weight loss program trial period, and I made a few different formulas, a few different IV bags, and tried it on some people.
Are you doing like scientist stuff, like sitting there?
I'm like a pharmacist, like the crazy scientist over here.
Do you have little bottles that have 3 X's on it, like poison? That's what I'm imagining.
We're not up to there. Okay, I hide that stuff in my shed. Okay, don't tell the government. No,
that's how I remember from the old cartoon.
Yeah, but no, like these.
All right, so you make these concoctions.
So like also there's
I'm
different.
excited now.
Yeah, so there's different mixtures that you can make, and I check drug interactions. I check compatibility. What IVs could be put together. You can't just dump everything in one bag and here infuse it in your blood. It's science based. Okay. We try it out. I talked to the other pharmacists, other manufacturers who produce these.
Wait, so what happened to the weight loss thing?
So I spoke to them and I was like, okay, so we know that there's these 6 items that will work for weight loss that really aid in weight loss. So I made 2 different. We ended up with 2 solid formulas, and I tried it out. The first formula didn't seem to work as efficiently as it worked. This was with someone who did no diet and exercise.
Wait, this is a 1-person trial?
I tried it on like 2-3 people.
Okay, fine.
Just because I only did this 3 weeks ago. This is not like I'm doing this for months and years.
Okay.
This is because the weight loss thing was not. No, I have a standard metabolic weight loss formula that has been tried and true on hundreds of people, that many people use. A lot of different IV clinics use it as well, but it's expensive. I mean, it's not. It's more pricey.
Okay.
So, and it's something that you would do once every 2 weeks, once a month. You're not doing it on a daily basis. This is something that I want to offer on a weekly basis to help you kickstart your weight loss, to help you start your changes. You're going to start I'm going to Pilates now, right? Am I only going to go to Pilates? No, I'm going to take my vitamins. I'm going to do my IV CBD. I'm going to start working on my diet and exercise. And as a whole, you're going to start losing weight much faster than you would if you only did your Pilates class twice a week. Right. And doing all these things. So these are aids to help you with other diet and exercise and things like, okay, I'm not saying cut out all the cake in your life or cut out that candy or chocolate bar. I'm saying minimize what you're doing. Do these things in conjunction, and hopefully you'll get gradual weight loss and you'll see some outcomes. So we tried this on like, I'm thinking of one particular patient because it's just easier to speak that way. So she tried, the first formula didn't work. Now we just did another one. We did some lipo B. We did some ALA. I did some of your amino acids like taurine. I did a CBD to decrease your inflammation. We did some of your B vitamins to boost your metabolism in conjunction with all these other things. She calls me, Tuesday was her infusion. She calls me by the next week, Monday. I lost 2.5 pounds. I'm like, what'd you do? You did any exercise? I did nothing. I sat on my couch. I led my life the same way. I did nothing. Let's do it again. Did it again. Another 2.5 pounds. So these things work.
So is it the idea is that we're just missing this stuff in our body?
Could be. It very much could be. And you're taking it and you're not.
Is it like not in the food? Because I got to tell you, when I do dieting, and I hate dieting. I hate the idea of like talking about it. I get that's what the most part. It's like, oh, what are you doing? And you got to like talk about it. But what I find is that dieting is just not going to the middle of the store. Meaning you're just staying on the outside of the store.
Fruits, yeah.
We got fruits, vegetables, frozen stuff.
Skip the bakery in the back.
Meat. You just if you skip the bakery, you just stay on the outskirts of any store, and you just don't go to the middle, and you'll lose weight. It's a funny
but
outside
also
of the store diet.
So that helps because like you're really cutting out.
I'm just wondering what they're doing in the middle of the store. Like what? How come it's so crazy? It's all processed.
Processed, high sugar, high.
And we're losing, and we're not getting vitamins and nutrients, and we're not getting that. How could I get? Okay, I tell you why I'm saying this, because my goal in life is to never take anything, but also get all the vitamins. Like, how do I get a high dose of vitamin B from food? Like, isn't there a way?
So there are diets. So if you're getting your organic, your healthy foods,
you have to get organic. Organic sounds like a scam to me.
So a lot of it, I sometimes feel like it's a scam, but sometimes I look at it, I'm like, hey, you're not taking pesticides. You're not. It's organic. It's supposed to be. It also. How are they just slapping a label? There's like these people say like you're getting organic chicken. And what is it? It's like, oh, they just didn't pump it up with that antibiotic at the end, but they got all the crap and they got all the other stuff, like they were fed corn and garbage and all these modified GMO foods during their whole upbringing. So are you really getting that organic chicken or that organic piece of meat? No, you really have to do your research on what you're eating. My mother-in-law does not eat red meat. She will not touch that because she's like,
What's in the red meat?
She says but then you have her son who's a carnivore diet and only eats meat. So
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What's the why?
Why? So to her, she's like, it's highly injected with antibiotics. It's the animals are not, besides for the way that they're treated and the things that they're fed are not properly fed. So she's like, you're essentially thinking you're eating a good piece of protein and
you're eating something
that was like
stuff in it.
Majorly genetically modified and changed. And look, I think you have to have a balance. Like I'm sorry, I need my steak. I need to eat my protein.
Right.
I'm not down to just eat fruits and vegetables. It's too hard for me. I can't, But again, people do it.
But I don't think fruits and vegetables and
You did your juicing.
Yeah, juicing's not.
Fruits and vegetables.
I just get very extreme with these things, and it's really dumb. But I think the enemy's carbs. That's what I believe. I just believe the whole, like, that's what I'm saying. The middle of the store, everything is processed, everything is carbs, everything is high in sugar. Everything.
But how come in the other countries where you eat carbs look, sourdough?
I feel like that's a myth. I feel like their eating patterns are better than ours. I don't think when you go to these places, I've been to a bunch of European places, the portions are tiny. It's not like America where we eat like people.
We eat.
We eat. If I got pasta and I got a small bowl of pasta like you get in France, you'd hit the guy. Give me more food.
Yeah.
That's
so also it could
appetizer.
be, but it could be there's also even balances. Let's say if you go and you eat your sourdough, I'd rather have a piece of spelt sourdough, and have that than have my white Wonder Bread, or like my you have to find some balances, because I feel like if you cut out everything from your diet, you're just depriving yourself and you're gonna rebound. Because we were trained, we were really trained, like, from a young age, where's that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that easy fast, like I cut out cereal from my house. There's no cereal. My kids will not get cereal.
Oh, wow.
We'll give them a treat sometimes. I'll get like some kashi fiber something for them, and they're like, this.
I love all the houses that cut out cereal, and the kids all end up in my house going, do you have any cereal?
Yeah.
We're like secretly feeding all the kids.
Yeah, like that Fruit Loops is out my house. Like that Red 40 blue dye. No, like we really, I try to like minimize a lot of these things for my kids, but my kids know. I also educate them. I'm like, look, if you go to your friend's house and they have it, I'm not going to say no, but it's not really generally what we eat. Like, they go to my neighbor and they see all that Fruit by the Foot and Gushers and they want it so bad. But my daughter was like, Mom, it has Red 40. And she'll go and eat, we'll find some of those other companies that make the same fruit roll-ups or whatever it is without it. And she's aware. They act cuckoo. Like, give a kid a pack of Fruit by the Foot, whatever it is. They're bouncing off a wall. They're off their rockets. How much Red 40 did they just ingest?
Red 40. People say these things. I have no idea what they're talking about.
It's like food dye.
Food coloring? But how much they put in? A little drip. How much?
If you eat Fruit Loops, that whole thing is
I thought it was the
coloring.
sugar the problem.
It's both. It's also the food coloring. You eat a Fruit by the Foot, that whole thing is red. It's food coloring.
Yeah,
You're eating.
You ever food color something?
It's a tiny drip.
That thing is killing us all.
I don't know if it's that alone.
That.
I think it's a combination of it all. But I see the difference of my kids and how they behave. Like when I take away screen time, when I take away this Red 40, I'm bad mom over here. I tell them no screen time, no candy. We don't do that. I give it to them as a treat. Like I'll give them chocolate. I'd rather give them chocolate than give them candy. Not depriving them.
You'd rather give them chocolate than candy. Isn't chocolate candy?
Candy, but I'm saying if you come to me and say I'll give them a piece of chocolate bar, a click, whatever, anything, Hershey's, whatever it is, I'll give them a square or two of that as opposed to a pack of gummy bears, jelly worms, all these sour sticks. I feel like they're both not good, but I'm not going to give them nothing. They're kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. If I tell them you're not having any of it, they're going to hate me and go binge by the neighbor. I'm not,
I wonder if candy, it's funny because we're very focused on candy. Yeah. And I think when I really analyze like why people are heavy, it's not candy, it's their eating habits.
Right, it is their eating habits.
So I'm wondering, like, we were very focused on candy. I had a fascinating thing in our house. I'm not sure why. My wife doesn't love when I talk about the way we raised our kids. But we always just had a ton of candy in the house. Like, it was just a lot of it. And it wasn't... It was just in a lower... Like, they could just take it. If there was a Shabbos box, comes out, like, have fun. And none of my kids have candy. So like it's because they
have access to it all the time.
They want it, they could have it. I mean, they're all older now. I don't have candy kids. They don't
Right.
They don't
but
do
also
a lot
that,
of candy.
let's say like the chips
So this
or
could
the
all
stuff.
backfire.
Right. I know. So that's why I tried to give them. And if let's say, look, we went to shul and Simchas Torah and they got their bags. I didn't take away all their candy. I didn't take away when my son came home with cotton candy and a big bag of Sour Patch cotton candy garbage they gave out as a treat, like for Shabbos party on Friday. I didn't take it away. I told him, you earned it. You worked hard. It's not my favorite food, but if you want to have it, you can have it. He took a bite and he's like, Mom, it's gross. And he threw it out and we went to Color Me Mine and I got him, he got to do an arts and crafts that he wanted to do for a while. So like we balance it out.
I'm just saying, I'm making a statement here. I might be wrong because you know everything about the health food and I don't know anything. And my sister's going to kill me for saying this, but I really don't think candy is the problem at all.
Right. It could be
I don't think it's at all the problem. I think it's all about eating habits.
Right,
I'm watching everybody I know who's heavy now. They've been off candy. They've been trying. They're like, I don't want to. It's their eating habits.
Fine.
They're
so
grazing,
it's saying, they're eating constantly. Look, you don't need to eat so much. One thing with these Ozempic things, you realize that you don't need to eat so much. You could eat very little and you're full and you're content and you're nourished and you're fine. But it's also your seed oils, your inflammatory foods. You're eating bad food. Doesn't mean just because you ate, if you had fried chicken, that's not any better than eating the other. I mean, yes, it's a better choice than your kukush cake.
Seed oil, okay.
I have no seed oils in my house. I'm a little
no seed oil. So what do you have? Almond oil?
No, we use avocado. I use avocado and olive.
Avocado and olive.
That's the only thing. I did this change only a year ago. I still have lots of weight to lose.
No, and this is anti-inflammatory stuff, and that makes you heavier.
Not heavier. It's not good for your insides. It's affecting your gut. It's affecting your whole body, your limbs. Why do I have to be achy and feel like I have arthritis when I'm 30? Like, come on. And it's the things that we eat, and it affects your life. So.
Right. So these IV drips could help with this?
So these IV drips could help for everything. So if you're nutrient deficient and you're not taking your proper, so like let's say for the weight loss. So we did this whole thing for this woman, and she's like, now that I told her, look, you lost your first 5 pounds. Could we a little bit incorporate some diet changes? Could we a little bit, like I know you don't eat breakfast. Could you just eat 2 eggs for breakfast, have some protein so you feel fuller so that when it comes lunchtime at 2:00, you're not binging your whole house in one session because that's exactly what you're doing right now.
Right.
So,
You've been spying on me. That's what I do.
That's what I do.
That's my move. I'm like, I don't even eat breakfast. I got a coffee.
Yeah, I'll go check my car.
I eat 7 lunches. I'm with you.
Oh, I pass it all day. Yeah.
I'll eat my lunch at 4:00 and eat everything that is there.
Yeah.
See, that has nothing to do with candy. I haven't had a candy in years.
Right. So it's not that. It's like we're eating it's bad habits. It's a lot of bad habits.
How do we teach kids good habits? That's
by being a good role model. And it's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I think so. I think when I sit down and eat breakfast with my kids, which I make breakfast for them, and then they ask me, "But where's your eggs?" I make them Sunday. We don't do cereal, so I have to actually make them breakfast every morning. So they get eggs and vegetables, and every morning we do, I'll do a different variation: scrambled eggs, sunny side eggs, soft boiled eggs.
So let me ask you a question: do you sit down with them and eat, or do you watch them eat?
So I realize that they eat better and they learn better and they don't give me a harder time when I sit down and eat with them, and it's so hard. It's hard. Sometimes I force myself to do it, but there was, like today I was in a rush, and there's no time for mommy to eat with you. Half their eggs are still sitting there. If mom doesn't eat, I don't have to eat.
Funny is something funny because the way we do our village, which you work with the guys, but you don't know what's happening in our village.
You're right.
I can tell you more about it, but it really is reparenting. I believe the philosophy is that addicts are big babies.
Right.
It's not a funny thing. It's funny.
A little bit.
Emotionally, they're stuck in a place of gimme. Something's hurting me. I need to fix it right now. So it's fine. The problem is that most people skip and try to treat them like emotionally healthy adults and be like, well, why don't you just do this? Stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Just stop. But it's easy to just stop. I don't get that.
So what we're doing is all this stuff, being like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like
Yeah.
very, very simple. Like the stuff you're saying, it's funny that you just,
Yeah.
like we're doing this for adults. And I wonder how many adults should join this program. Maybe
It would change it would. And I used to not. I could tell you for years, I would just make my kids their food. I would walk away, finish getting dressed, putting together my bag, doing whatever. And like I told you, I went to acupuncture and she tells me, you're high cortisol. You're not taking care of yourself. Do you eat breakfast every day? I'm like, I literally don't eat breakfast. The first thing I'm eating, 3-4 o'clock, I'll grab something processed and garbage, and then I come home at 8:30 and I eat the whole house. Whatever is in sight is in me. I don't care. I just inhale. And so what it was, she really made me sit down and I started doing this. Okay, so maybe I might not eat as much as them or something, but I sit down and I make sure to have the protein. So I'll eat an egg with them. I'll eat something and it changes my day. I really see I'm fuller, I'm more functioning, my brain is functioning. You do a lot more. You do accomplish. My mind goes 1,000 miles a minute. I'm flying all over the place. It keeps me in check, and it's a good role model for my kids. Then my husband started joining, so now every morning we have a nice breakfast. I get to talk to them.
Okay, so what I'm hearing about this IV drip, and going back to it for a second, the IV, what I'm hearing is that something's wrong with our diets and our exposure to sun and our movements, and we're missing a lot of stuff.
Right.
That's what you're saying? And then the IV drip is just like, here's all the stuff you're missing.
Yeah, so it's giving it to you essentially in that form, and it's helping you also take care of your body and take care of yourself, so you don't have to falling into drugs or falling into taking other medications and things like that. So if I know that I'm taking my antioxidants and I'm taking my vitamins and I'm taking care of my nerves, I'm taking care of my body, I'm taking care of everything, I don't need to go and fall back on this medication and that problem and do this. And look, everything has its time and place. But in terms of these vitamins, it's like, I want you to have a better quality of life. I want you to live a long life. I want longevity. I want a healthy life. What's life if you're living to 120 and you're sick your whole life?
Yeah.
What kind of life is that?
I want to live a good life.
Yeah. A good life, a healthy life. So that's what it is. So this is
that's
like
from the play.
Yeah.
Sorry, from Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
You said a good life, a healthy life. Were you quoting that?
I was not.
Okay, well, it's exactly from the.
See, I should just be a screenwriter.
You should
what else?
be a screenwriter. Okay, let me ask you, what am I not asking you? Because I don't know anything about pharmacy, but you're like, I wish someone would like I could tell the world.
Well, I would just say pharmacists are literally your most accessible healthcare providers who care. Like maybe, for the most part, most of my friends and everyone that I know are pharmacists, they care about their patients. They're around. We're very knowledgeable. We're here. We're not just putting pills in bottles. I have customers come in. You just got my prescription. Why is it not ready? What do you mean? I'm checking your antibiotics. You take 5 other medications. Drug interactions. Hello. Like, do I want to cause you to have some sort of cardiac issues? Do I want you to have some? There's so many things that we know that we're checking on the back end that we're doing, and people don't realize that. And we have a wealth of knowledge that we could really help you. And like, we don't charge for our time. You go to a doctor, you have to pay your copay, you have to this. You can walk into a pharmacy, hey, I need a recommendation for your vitamins. Whether you buy it from me or not, I gave you my free advice. I came out, I spoke to you, I'll invest time with you. So you walked in, you saw me talking to the customers. Like, I come out, So it's really like on a day-to-day, I really come around, like at least me, or I say my sister's a pharmacist. I have a lot of family members. Well, I'm Persian, we're all pharmacists. So
is that the rule?
It's pharmacists, doctors, lawyers.
Nice. Right. I'm with it.
So when you come in and we're the most accessible healthcare provider.
They do jewelry too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Hello. My brother-in-law. Get
Jewelry,
your wholesale diamonds from him.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna say shout out. Okay, so but I'm saying with all these things, they do a lot. Like we have a wealth of knowledge. We're here to help. We're not just pill pushers. We're not just here to say take all my meds. Like I want the best for my clients. Any patients who come in, I really sincerely want you to come to me for help. Like I tell my customers, like, that we do a lot of, for Uptown, we got like a government grant. We do 340B drugs for fertility.
What does that mean?
That means we got a huge subsidy through Muncie Health Center to provide drugs that would typically cost anywhere between $1,000 to $8,000 for a cycle of fertility medication. For a chance of getting pregnant, you're getting for upwards of max $250. And we supply the meds, and I tell these customers, I hope I don't see you next month. I do not want to see you next month. I don't want it that your next
so they
cycle.
don't need to go to the doctor?
They go to their doctor. So how this program works specifically with Columbia and Muncie Health Center. You go into you become a client of the health center. They link you up with Columbia, has a phenomenal, I went to see it myself, lab, testing, everything for fertility. They've helped hundreds and thousands of patients. People fly all over the world to come there. So what they do is you're getting, instead of going to Columbia where they don't take insurance for the fertility, you go to the health center, which they do take your insurance. They take your Medicaid, they take your Medicare, they take whatever insurance you have. You get seen over there. They're consulting with there. Then they write all their prescriptions have to get filled in our pharmacy only, in Uptown. Because we're part of this 340B where they give subsidized drugs to patients who can't afford it, and especially when drugs are not covered. So it's usually for people who can't afford it or meds that are, so there's like a lot of things that go on, how like there's a lot of moving pieces of who makes money, when drugs are covered, there's money going back to the health center to feed the fund, to feed all this. But for, let's say, fertility is a non-covered service. There's no insurance that covers fertility. You'll find one Fortune 500 company who offers insurance that covers fertility meds. So you have these patients who are spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that they don't have.
Right.
And they come in and they are getting their prescriptions written from the health center to us. It takes us about a week to fill your medications. And let's say if you want a Follistim, really common drug that they use for fertility meds, or Menopur. A box of Follistim cost me on a retail level around $2,700 my cost.
Wow.
Okay, you're coming into the 340B, you're getting 4 boxes for $17.98.
Wow. That's a government program.
Government program. We got a grant. There's not too many pharmacies that do this. I think there's one other that I'm aware of that got a 340B grant for fertility that does this. And what we do, and this is my way of giving back. Like, you could come in for all your other things, but everyone's like, oh, you're making millions of dollars. I'm like, how can I make millions of dollars when I make the drug? I'm charging you $17. Someone has to pay for the cost of the drug. Someone has to pay back the health center. Someone has to pay back the government. Everyone has to get paid. I walk away with like $9, okay? With all the headache, with all the hormonal people that come along with it.
Did you just say hormotional?
Yeah. They're
Is that a word?
hormonally emotional.
You just threw that out like the most amazing little combo of words, and you just moved on.
Yeah, whatever.
Hormotional.
So they come in, and
I'm never gonna use that on my wife ever.
Yeah, don't. she
word,
probably
though.
won't appreciate that one. But they come in, they suffered. I had a lady crying to me Monday night. I'm starting my cycle tomorrow, like Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. She needs all her meds, and we ended up pulling together for her. Like, I called a bunch of my customers. I said, I know that you're starting your cycle next week and you're starting in 2 weeks and you're in middle, but you're going to have an extra 4 vials and you're going to have some extra. Can I collect all your extras, bring it to the pharmacy? I'll send my driver to pick it up. So this lady who has tried IVF 7 times, has failed, who wants kids, who's desperate, married for 12 years, dying for her kids so she could have a chance because there was an opening open. Otherwise, she's waiting. Her next appointment is in about 6 months. And the only reason she got in, there was a cancellation in the health center. There was a cancellation in her regular fertility doctor. She didn't even go to Columbia. She's doing it. The health center did it out of the love to see her. So that way they could get her subsidized drugs. And we made it happen for her. Like I told her, I do not want to see you next month. I want to get a call from you that I'm pregnant. I love those calls. Those are my favorite calls. Oh, wow. There's like around 60 babies that no one delivered yet. But...
It's very, very exciting the way how you're excited, because honestly, like, everything is CVS and
they don't care.
They don't care.
It's about the numbers. It's corporate. It's very different kind. That's why I said support your local, because like at the end of the day, we care. I don't have a quota to fill. I'm not stuck like do 200 flu shots today. You must fill all your prescriptions, and if you don't have time, you're gonna have to go verify prescriptions from another pharmacy, or you're gonna get ding-a-ling, then you're not gonna get your bonus. I pay my staff fairly. I love my staff. I treat them well. Nice. We have a very good relationship. I think people come into the store and they have good vibes. The guys come in, we have fun with them. Some of them come in, we deal with the crises, because if you went to CVS and like the guy who had a crisis last week, I sat with him 4 hours while he was crying and drinking.
4 hours, you said?
With Mar.
Don't say names.
No,
anyway.
That's it. But I'm saying it's the alias. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
So, fake names. So, like, we have some guys that come in and they're having crisis. If they weren't CVS, they just throw them out. I don't care. The drug costs $2,700. Pay it or get out.
Right.
We found him a coupon. We found someone to pay for it. We made sure he was fine. I got him an Uber, made sure he went to the urgent care to get it injected, and he was fine. And he went to work a few hours later. You're not getting this in another place. Like, I don't know. No. And we cared. And I made sure I didn't even have the drug in stock. I borrowed it from another pharmacy and got them to send it to me in an Uber so I could return it to them the next day. So there's a lot of
This
things.
is why Shalom, my clinical director, is like, that woman deserves an award.
Oh, please. Like, no, but
Oh,
I really love what I do, and we really care. And so, like, when I say, like, tell a customer, like, take your IV, take a vitamin, try to do something, it's not because I'm trying to make money off you. People are like, oh, you're just making money. It's not about making money. It's about making sure you're all right, you're okay, you're living a good life. We care about you. We actually care. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, which is, I don't know, at least I care. I could say, like, and I could say most of my staff cares, and everybody really puts heart and soul. And when people come and bark back, like, people walk in, I always tell, when I get a new employee, people are going to yell at you. People are going to bark at you. People are going to be nasty to you. They're here because they're usually not feeling well. There's something going on in their life, and just don't take it to heart. You're here to help, and you're going to get the apology later. I promise you, everybody who comes in like that, at a certain point, they come back and they apologize. Or if they don't, that's on them. Don't take it to heart. What, are you going to sit and cry and get emotional over,
Right.
So, yeah.
That's also another reason why we call addicts big babies by us, because, like, are you getting upset at a baby?
Yeah.
Baby's losing his mind. Like, that's what's happening emotionally right now. That is the feeling. All right, 2 more questions.
Go for it.
How long do we go, guys?
I don't know. I could talk.
Oh my gosh. First of all, are dermatologists just a scam? Could I just ask
I don't think so. I really don't
That
think
came out
so.
of nowhere.
I have a lot of good dermatologists that care. Hey, you don't want your mikvah fungus on going around town. You need them. You need the acne, the self-confidence. Also, look, there's skin cancer.
I know, but I've seen it.
Crazy skin
It's
cancer.
like constant, like, giving. I feel like nobody understands skin at all, and they're just shooting like whatever they can.
Because it's trial and error. What I like to say about medicine, it's practice. Why do you call? I'm going to a medical practice. I'm going there because
they don't call it that. Also, psychiatrists are called providers.
Yeah.
That's bad. That means they have to give you something in order
Well, any
to
doctor
fulfill
could be a provider.
Who they are. I know, but it's like, here's something.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm here to get better, not something.
But it's a lot of these things. Like with medicine, it's like when you say, I want to treat certain so-and-so, there's a few options on how to treat it. There are the gold standards, the guidelines on how to treat whatever it is, whether it's a fungus, an infection, a skin condition, a cancer. There is guidelines. But what works, that's what helps for majority of the people. So some people are you can't follow the guidelines because they are contraindicated in this. So, they have to do trial and error. So they're going to throw a couple of things at you. Hopefully.
Right. That make it much worse for a long time. And then
you have perfect skin.
I don't have as
glowing.
Family members have struggled with this. I'm glad that I have good skin because it would just get worse and worse, and I would never do anything about it.
No, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. I love this. It's a very good lesson. Okay, rooftop question. This is I don't think you ever listened to a full pod. You just got my reels.
Okay, fine.
But the rooftop question is, if you're on top of the roof and you're just yelling to the world, millions of people, and you just want to say what you want to say because it's something you just want to yell to the world. What's your rooftop yell?
Take care of yourself. Literally, take care of yourself. Like, nobody's going to take care of you as well as you're going to take care of yourself. And also, like, respect the people around you. You walk into a pharmacy, and like I said, there's a lot of abuse that goes on around town, and it's not intentional, and I know nobody means it, but, like, watch how you talk to the person next to you. Take care of yourself. Work on yourself. Be a good just be a good person. Take my IV drips. You'll feel good. Like something.
That's a lot of rooftop yells.
I know. I just bubble. I can't help myself. Take care.
Take the IV. Okay.
But really,
listen, we have a deal. I'm going to do an IV drip. We'll do.
I'll hook you up right after.
Instagram story. What do you mean right after? You have
Not
it
today, not today, because I'm not a
Is
nurse.
it
I don't
happening now?
administer. You get an actual real nurse, a real provider, a real medical healthcare professional who makes sure that, like, I canceled people from getting IV drips. I'm like, you are not a candidate. You have too many contraindications. You have heart failure. I'm not going to pump you up with fluids because that's going to be detrimental to you. So there has to be a balance. So we actually care about you and take your medical history and your intake and make sure that you're okay. And then a licensed, registered nurse who actually is qualified, not some guy in the lab, the meth lab that comes in and throws you some IVs. No, someone who's a professional comes down to you and gives you the drip. So like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God, we forgot to talk about your methadone clinic stuff.
Don't worry, you can bring me back. I'm so fun.
Yeah, you are fun. It really was fun.
I know.
What was the deal with the methadone clinic? You think
Well,
it ever worked?
Did it ever work?
Yeah.
I think it probably did. I mean, a lot of my patients in the methadone clinic were at the point of like, they were not looking for help. They were looking for help. This was in a little bit of a not such a safe neighborhood, and it was a little bit of a government sponsored kind of thing. And
Right.
they were picking up people off the street. And a lot of the guys used to tell me, my vouchers ran out, like my food stamps ran out, so I don't have any money, so I couldn't get any of my drugs, so I'm here for the methadone. And then 2 weeks later, they were out, because now it's the first of the month. Their
Right.
cards, whatever. There was a lot, and there was a lot of things going on. But from all of that, there were a lot of guys who did get help. It was mostly male. We had, I think, one female floor in this particular facility.
Right.
So from, the guys will come in, save me my parking spot. They want to hang out with me. You come in. So there was a lot of things going. There were some guys who were really there to change their lives, and they needed the help. Without it, they're relapsing, they're falling behind. I always tell them, your goal is to eventually get off it.
Have you seen people get out there and have lives, but you wouldn't never follow up?
So it was hard to follow up because I was there for a good year and change.
Yeah.
And every single time I would come to the floor, it was a different rotating door. Sometimes the guys were out and I wouldn't see them for months. Sometimes I would see the same guy be back, pretty soon. And it was kind of sad. And I was like, yo, what happened, bro? Like, why are you back? What happened? You were doing so good. What happened? I couldn't. My mama died. Something happened. My sister, my brother, so many things.
Yeah.
And we were trying to talk to them because also, like, to me, I didn't have to be. I'm not their therapist. I'm not there. I'm here to give you meds.
Your
I'm here.
drugs. Here's your
I'm here
drugs.
drugs. I'm coming. I don't even give it to them. I would load the nursing stations for them and make sure. Do my count. I would sit in a giant safe full of methadone and count methadone.
There's a lot of money on methadone in there.
Yeah.
You guys are also selling that stuff.
I hope not. Well, when you're inside the clinic, we watch you take the meds.
Okay.
So it's not, unless they're hiding it somewhere that we don't see. But like literally, we make sure you put it in your mouth and it dissolves and you're swallowing.
Right.
Here's your cup of water. I know. I remember there was one guy who would hide it under his tongue, and afterwards he's pulling out slobbered methadone. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? Come on.
You're gonna sell it.
Yeah.
That's what
But hopefully they don't come back. You never.
Okay, well, I love this. I will say that I don't know if this is a thing you do, but what if someone came into the pharmacy and like you just go, hey, I really want like a workup, like what kind of like vitamins, like what should I do? Like, is there a way to just do that?
So if anyone who walks in, I try to like just talk to them about their basic diets and give stuff like. What's best is
such an advertisement.
No, but I would say
pharmacy, which is the best pharmacy.
Yeah. No, I would say like if someone would come in, I do like the research-based stuff, and I would like what I eventually hope to do. It's really, really something that I want and I hope to get there is to like offer lab testing and to see what you're deficient and what's going on and work like with other healthcare providers who like diagnosticians, like doctors and doctors who have more of a naturopathic kind of mindset to really to say like, hey, look, you do have something going on. There are a lot of vitamin and help them in that sense and then offer based on your actual blood work. But there are a lot of things that we could recommend based on the top. You come in, you're pale and white. Where's your vitamin D? Come on. Right. And not even that. Everyone, if you're not sitting and sunbathing, you're vitamin D deficient. There's no harm in taking a thousand units of vitamin D a day. It's probably beneficial. Take your vitamin D.
Take your vitamin D. That's the rooftop, yeah.
Yeah. Take your vitamins. That should be my rooftop. Or listen to your drug dealers. I don't know.
Don't listen to your drug dealers.
The legal ones. Okay. No.
Thank you so much. That was
Thank you
awesome.
for having me.
That was really fun.
Yeah. Are we cut?
Cut. Done.
Okay.
We're done.
Thank you for this day that I've been given. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this chance. Thank you for this chance to live anew.